everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather, and I'm going to make these cute little sock toys. So what I have are these large knee-high socks. This one's got the owl, and this one has the cat. So I got these at liquidation place for $1. So I'm just going to say, yeah, the retail price on the back says 20 bucks. I got them for $1 each. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. So I kind of explained this one on a different video when I was making different things, how I've made these other little toys and things for little kids. I'm just going to put these tags off. Oops. Didn't quite work. I'm just going to grab my smaller scissors so I can get in here. Because I don't want to put a hole in the socks. But you can see that they are like the knee-high socks. So I'm going to make one cat and one owl. Going to set one cat and one owl to the side. So these are really easy to make. You can see how big the owl's going to be. And you can see from the back is just plain. So what I'm going to do is I got to turn it inside out. Just a little tricky with these acrylics. But when you turn it inside out, toes, you can still see where the owl is. You can still see the shape of the owl. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just gotta stretch this out. I gotta flatten this. Just gonna pull this apart just a little. Pull this just a little flatter. So what you do is you figure out where the owl is. So I'm going to cut this bottom chunk off because I don't need that. But I will save that because that will make a good body for a gnome or a hat for a gnome. So I'll save that piece. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the rest of this as it is right now. I'm going to cut this top part up here off too because I won't need this either. Just if you can cut some of the extra material off now or some of the excess sock, it makes it so much easier now. I usually do this with the baby socks, and so I usually work with like a sock that's like this big. So this seems like a nice thing because usually when I'm doing this sock I'm working with is barely this big. And then you're cutting and stitching until you end up with like, you know, this tiny little toy. So this is like a pretty good sized little thing. So there's a couple different ways to do this. You can machine stitch it or you can hand stitch it. I'm going to hand stitch it only because I can't get to my sewing machine at the moment. I've got other crafts piled up I've been working on and ready to go. I'm trying to get all my spring and Easter stuff all organized. So what I'm going to do is, if I can get this to lay flat, I may just have to get the iron just to iron that out, but I'm going to stitch around the body right where the owl is. So I'm just going to stitch right around and come up, and then you kind of see where his head is. So you kind of stitch in, so you kind of get where the body and the head kind of, like his neck area kind of curves in, and then around his head and then up his ears. Just kind of stitch all that, except we're going to leave the top open for the moment because you have to be able to turn it right side. So I'm just going to grab my thread and needle, which I thought I had thread here. I know I did. And I threw it in here. I got my needle. Oh, wrong needle. Looks like I will have to grab my thread. I don't have it here. It's probably just sitting just off where I can't quite see it, and if I do see it, I can't reach it. So just give me one moment to grab my thread and needle. Actually, my needle had fallen on the floor. So I've already got it threaded because I'm wearing these acrylics. I just didn't think anybody would want to watch me try to thread a needle wearing the acrylic. So I'm just going to start here. I'm just going to do like a very simple, like a blanket stitch all the way around. Just going right around. You just have to go around, like, I guess where the body is. You don't have to on this one. I've had to do it on other socks based on where, you know, the size of the sock and what pattern was around it, but this is big enough. I think I'm just going to just go around the body and the head. This is so hard to do with these acrylics. I am actually ready to take these acrylics off. I think I'll probably do that later today. As fun as it was having these acrylics, they're just a little too long for me at the moment. Well, it's not just the length. I think it's the length of the thumb, and then having the florals on is just something I don't really do often either. I usually don't have a lot of like flowers or bows or stars or anything on the acrylics. So that is also just a problem for me at the moment too. So I think I will take them off tonight. It's been, you know, about 5 days with these acrylics, and now I've also done the other craft with the one I just finished doing earlier this morning. I had making that rusty solution. I've now got some of that stuff has, you know, changed the color of my nails a bit. I'm just going right around the body, this bottom part of the owl where it's kind of curved and rounded. Yeah, see, it's getting caught on these flowers. That is not good because now I've got a knot. Okay, so I'm gonna have to undo the last couple stitches because now I've just got a big knot because it got tangled around the acrylics. I'm just trying to pull that thread there. I didn't have to undo it. I thought I was going to have to undo the last 2 stitches, but I was just able to just pull it a little tighter. Now I'm not going to go up the side. This one I think it's fine. I'm just going to go back over, just do a couple more stitches just to kind of fix where it kind of got caught on my nail here. Just making sure that there's a lot of stitches just to get that really round body. I said, this is so much easier than those other crafts that ones I'd made, that bear and the monkey. I have made lots of various crafts over the years using mini gloves and socks, but I find these are some of the easiest ones. You just, who can't get a little pair of socks turned inside out, you know, something that has a cute little pattern on it. So I know the last couple of years I was doing lots of Olaf, because even the boys, like I did some of Anna and Elsa, but the boys really liked Olaf. And I did some of the Monster Inc, like Sully and Mike. I've done those ones. And so it's just the little baby socks. You know, you get like a 2-pack for $1.50 at the dollar store. And then you see you get 4 socks. You're able to make 4 little toy things for the kids. It's always fun to do. Just gonna snip this little extra piece off here just to get it a little easier for me to get around that one corner. I should have cut that off before the first time I stitched it, but that's okay. I got it this time. So then all you need is just a little sock, needle and thread, and any type of polyfill. One more is going to do my finishing knot. There. So I got the toe all stitched up. It's all rounded. I'm just going to trim this. I'm going to grab another piece of thread and stitch the top part. Just going to find where his head is. So I figured, I don't think, because it's an owl and it's going to be like all stuffed with things, but it's just trying to get around where the ears are. So you can see the ears are pointed. I'll be stitching just up right where his ears are, and then I'll leave a space across the part of the head and then stitch the other ear. So I'll be back when I get the ears stitched, just because I gotta rethread the thread, and I don't know, I don't really think anybody wants to watch me struggle threading a needle with the acrylic, so just give me a few moments. Alright, so I got the one ear stitched, so I'm gonna do the other ear. Is the same thing, just find where the point, find the top of the ear. I'm just going to do the quick blanket stitch. And I decided that this is the owl. I decided that I'm going to actually move the stuff that's over there on my sewing machine. Already knotted. Just got it all stuck again. So I decided I'm just going to clear the stuff that's sitting beside my sewing machine, and I'm actually going to sew the cat one on the sewing machine just to show you you can do both ways. And I prefer to actually do it on the machine, but I know a lot of people don't have a sewing machine. Also, the thing with my husband is like, got a good sewing machine for Christmas, you should be using it. Why are you hand stitching everything? I'm like, well, I like to hand stitch. Hand stitch is what I'm used to doing because I didn't have a good enough sewing machine. Now I've got a good sewing machine and I haven't really used it much. So that was one of the things, was to get the new sewing machine, I would have to be actually using it on a, as I said, at least once a week I should be using the sewing machine, and I don't think I've used it in a month. So far, all I've made with it was the cover, I made the cover, the little, needle holder, whatever it's called, and I made the little, tote bag out of a pair of jeans. I think that's all I have done with my sewing machine. I haven't even watched the tutorial video that came with it, so that's on my to-do list. But I'd rather craft than watch a video on how to use my sewing machine. I don't even know how long the video is. I think it's like an hour-long video. This is just so hard with these acrylics. I think I'm going to take the acrylics off today. I'm ready to take them off right now just so I can get this done. But I just want to get this done. Because, I mean, I can pause the video, scrap this video, and take the acrylics off. But, hey baby, it's banging me. Oh, my cat. Just walked up and just head-butted me into the knee, and that kind of hurt. But no, I think I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to make this because it's almost done. It doesn't take long to make this, because it's even faster on the sewing machine. But one of the things you want to really make sure you do is you really get the point and the shape of the ears when you've got animals with ears or any specific parts that just help emphasize who or what this is. Okay, I'm just going to snip this off. I'm going to turn this right side. Which is part of the reason why I decided the owl, I'm not going to go around the whole body. But for the cat, when I do it on the sewing machine, I will. I just have to make sure that I pull his ears out so I can see his ears. There, so now it looks like an owl. And then I've got the stuffing. Oops, I dropped it. This is the bag of stuffing that came with, I think this one came with the sock monkey actually. I'm just going to stuff all this stuffing in here. Because it's actually, once you do the stuffing, is really what makes it take its shape. So you go from like just a little ordinary sock to like a nice little soft little toy. So it's, you know, you want the body to be a little more stuffed. You want a little bit less stuffing where the neck is, and then you want the head out as well. I gotta put more stuffing down further. And one of the things I did find is when you're doing this type of stuffing, if you roll it, when you're stuffing your pillows and stuff, if you just roll it, it just kind of smooths out the stuffing. You can do it in any direction. It just kind of helps get the stuffing where you want it to go. But see, it's starting to look like a cute little pillow. Just got too much right there. Just need that to go down a little bit. Squeeze that down just to try to make the body look a little more rounded. Kind of like rolling out like strips of Play-Doh. You want that nice tube looking thing. There. So it looks like so far. And then you can't forget, because you need to put some stuffing up in the ears, because that's really going to make, if it's something that's got ears, or like I said, when I did Olaf, it was his little strands of hair. So that I really had to make sure to get the extra stuffing in key places, just so you can know what it is. It looks like a cute little owl now. Doesn't take long to make these. It was just something I saw on Pinterest probably about 7 years ago, and so I started making them. They're just so easy to make, and I just say, you know, and I have some of the older school-age kids, and it's just so easy. Like, I did the stitching, but then they could do the stuffing. I just think those 2 craft kits that I made, this is just so much easier than those craft kits. Kind of got him a little crooked here, so I'm just trying to straighten out his body where his head is. So I want a little more stuffing down, so a little bit more stuffing down here, just down in his head, so the head's just a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller where the eyes are too. See, that looks so much better now. And then I think need to do something just because the neck, I gotta get less in the neck area, so I gotta just like that. There, now I just gotta stitch the top up, so I'll be using the invisible stitch, which is something I haven't done too much. Let me grab the needle. just, I haven't, you know, in my life, I haven't used that invisible stitch for a long time, but lately I've been doing a lot of the invisible stitch. So I've, oh, just dropped needle on the floor. But yeah, it's getting easier every time I do something. So I'm just going to thread this needle. I'm just going to see how easy I can thread it. This will be the fourth time I've had to thread the needle today, so I think I may have found a few tricks to help me with the threading with the acrylics. So I'm actually kind of using the acrylics to hold the thread, and I'm letting the needle drop. I don't know how people with long nails do certain things. I mean, I'm used to having long nails, so I mean, it's the thumb is just a little too long for me. And then it's just the little flower decals, they just stand up too high, so they get caught on everything. It's like when you wear rings, sometimes you know how your ring just gets caught on everything you're trying to do. So you take your rings off, you have to learn how to do things with the rings on. Because for a long time, like, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but yeah, I know the ring, I know it flashes, but I never had a diamond solitaire this size ever. I've never actually had like rings that size, except I'd wear them for like, okay, going out for dinner or something. So to wear a ring like that all the time, and then my husband, we were gonna go a few years ago and looking at trading it in, and I didn't like the next size up. I said, no, I didn't want it bigger. I like this size. And then the lady at the jewelry store is like, you don't want to go bigger? Like, it sounded like kind of like, it was like rude or something to say I don't want to go any bigger in my size of my ring. So I don't know. So I'm just going to do the invisible stitch. So I just stitch on one side and then you stitch up on the other side. You're kind of using kind of like the inside seam. And then as you pull it together, it's going to pull the two pieces together. So you just go down the inside seam. I don't know if you can see. And then you pull it. Then you come on the other side and you do the inside seam, but you don't want to see the needle coming through the back or the front. If you see the needle coming through, don't pull it. You just pull the needle back out and retry it. And you don't want to tangle the thread on anything either. As I say that, I'm tangling on the little flowers. There. Just going to bring this up just so I can see, because I'm just having a little trouble seeing today. I don't have my glasses on. They were bothering me, so I took them off today, and I don't do contacts. The idea of touching my eyes just grosses me out. So I will never have contacts. And I just pulled the thread right where I said don't want to do it. You don't want to get it on the outside, but I just did. See, and if I was on the sewing machine, I would come right around that. So when I do the cat one, I'll show you the difference of hand stitch, because hand stitch is okay. But when you make it on the sewing machine, it's just the way that the stitches are, I don't know, just easier to get around. And of course the stitches don't show up on the outside like they do when I'm hand stitching. I always somehow manage to stitch, and then when I flip it around, I somehow always seem to pull too tight, and then my stitches are visible on the outside. I don't know how to fix that, but you know, I'm just going to stitch this closed on the outside because I think I'm going to give the owl, I think I'm going to give her a little bow in her hair. just because I've already messed up my stitching. You can already see half my so-called invisible stitches because my nails are just in my way, and I pulled the thread and then I should have undone it, but I didn't. So I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to give her a nice bow in her hair. Because I can always just cut these stitches later and make them more invisible. For now, I'm just going to leave it like that. And I do have this bow. It's probably too big, but the color would look good. But see, that would look better around her neck here. So I'm just going to find a little piece of ribbon. I know I've got lots of ribbon sitting there beside me somewhere. When I was making all those Valentine crafts, I had all these little strips of ribbon. Now, of course, I can't find them. I didn't move the ribbon. I haven't cleaned my craft room, so everything I've been working on should all be right here in front of me. Every piece of ribbon, every little thing I cut is all in front of me on my table. So, this nice piece of ribbon here. Just gonna find the middle. I'm just gonna grab this. I always have trouble tying ribbons when they're not on anything, so I'm just gonna use the paintbrush here just to tie the basic shoelace bow. I cannot tie it because of the acrylics. So I'm just going to try this once more. Once more. Just about had it that time. I just can't quite seem to get the ribbon to go through where it's supposed to go. I can just get this ribbon to come through. Stuck on my nail. And I pull my nail down and the ribbon goes down with the nail. I think I got it that time, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, I just have to pause for a second because this is gonna bug me trying to tie this ribbon. I'm gonna try once more. If I can't get it this time, then I will pause. But I just about had it and it's just so annoying. It's like if I can't get it, I'll use my teeth, and I don't want to. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to pause, and I think I'm gonna have to use my teeth just to grab that with my tooth because it's just, I don't know. Try once more. This chunk I need to pull. Ah, I got it. I got it, I think. Didn't I? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm pausing. I'll be right back. Okay, I got it. It took me about 5 tries. It's still a little crooked, but it's a little bit better than nothing. So now I'm going to oh, my glue gun's not being turned on. I just said I'm just going to glue it in place. I'm not going to try to stitch it. So I'm just going to glue the bow in place. So that is the little owl. So I'm just gonna do the cat, but the cat I will do on the sewing machine. So for the cat, it's gonna be a little bit different because I'm on the sewing machine. I am actually gonna I'm going to do the whole ears, and I'm going to stuff the bottom. So I'm going to keep open just the little spot between the legs because it's just a little easier. But for the cat, I'm actually going to stitch around. So I'm going to start the one leg. I'm going to stitch all the way around the body, up around the ears, but I really want to make an emphasis and get the ears really pointed. So I may actually go a little bit more pointed than these ears because these ears are a little more rounded. Just to, and around the head, and then just a little bit in here. So when I'm doing this cat, I do want to have if I go like this, you do see the purple fuzzy stuff, and so right where the neck is, right here, it kind of comes in, and then it comes, so the head comes around into the neck and then out to the body. So I really want to do that stitching on this one, because when I didn't do it on this one, then it was a little bit harder just to stuff it like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be back in just a few moments, and I'll be at my sewing machine. Okay, I'm back. I was just trying to angle my camera. I realized I had hit the record button. I'm just trying to line everything up. Sorry. Okay, so I've got the cat sock. I've got it inside out. So now I'm just going to start here at the top of the head. I don't know why I just dropped it on the floor and I've got stuff stuck on it. Okay, so I'm going to just start up here. Actually, no, I'm going to start here at the leg. And I'm going to just follow, like, I don't know if you can see, but where these purple, so where's the camera? Okay, where the purple is, that tells me where the feet and stuff are. So I'm actually going to use that as a guideline, and I'm going to stitch directly on top of all the purple. I'm going to start down here. So I'm not cutting anything off like I had done before. I'm just going to figure out where I want to start. Before I start, I'm going to say, yes, I did lose one of my nails already. I was threading the machine and the thread got caught and ripped it off. Not really hurt, but I'm just going to keep, I'm going to take the acrylics off later today. I just got to find my foot pedal here. There it is, because it kind of just got slid. Shoot, is it? There. Cord is all tangled around it too. Okay, now I think I'm ready to stitch. So I've got this, I'm just using the J00. So I don't know, my stitch position is 2.5. So I don't know, I'm not touching it. I just want a basic stitch. I'm just gonna go all the way around. It's not moving. Why this is not moving. Oh, there, now it is. Because I just got stuck on something, so I'm just going around the feet. Bring this up. Just gotta move this just a little bit because it's just kind of got stuck around that foot. I'm trying to show how easy this is to do, and I'm having trouble getting my machine to move. Just gotta reline this up there. I think I was just trying to get it around that foot. Now that I'm back here and I can just go straight up, it's gonna be so much faster and easier. Going, it's just not quite lined up. I can't, the way I'm sitting is just not very comfortable either, so I'm just trying to figure out. Let's see, just gonna lift this up, move the material just over us a little bit. See, it's just Looks like it's not stitching. It's not moving. Just trying to get this lined up. I said, I know I'm trying to follow this fuzzy purple stuff. I don't think that's a good idea because it just wants to get caught in the machine. So it's not moving. I don't even feel like I'm actually stitching the socks. I'm just going to pull this and see. Just got some loose threads here. I'm just going to snip off these loose threads just so I can see why it's not moving. Okay, so I'm just going to come back around this head. Maybe I just go a little slower. I'll probably be able to get it to go. And this is right where the ears are. So I said I really want to make the sharp pointed ears. Thread just got stuck. I don't know. I've done these before, but I've never had this much trouble stitching. I don't know if it's just because this is just a bigger sock, and before I usually just do a circle. So now I just feel like I'm not stitching anything. I don't think this is gonna work. It's okay. If it doesn't work, I have another sock. Yeah. Something just happened. Yeah, that's what I thought. It stopped stitching. I don't know what's happening. My machine just totally didn't do any stitches. And I got half of it done. So if you can see, got half of this done, so I'm just gonna have to figure out what I just did wrong with my machine. It just totally stopped stitching. So I will be back in a few moments when I figure out what I just did. I'm just gonna cut some of these loose threads. I think it's this purple thread that is just causing to get caught on my machine. So I'm just gonna check my machine and I will be right back. Alright, I don't know why I was having trouble. I checked, I've got thread in the bobbin. I checked everything that seems to be all stitched, so why no thread was stitching, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I just had something not quite stitched. Maybe when I went to clip some of the threads, what I think I did was when I went to clip some of the purple loose threads, I may have clipped the thread I'm actually trying to sew with. That's probably what I did. But I had to double check that everything was going good, so I just kind of went over where I had already kind of stitched a bit. Just want to make sure it was all going good. So I'm just going to keep on stitching around. There, so now it's working good. Just following the purple frilly threads. I just don't want to get the purple threads caught. I know my hands are in the way, but I'm just trying to get this pulled. I'm just not quite sure how to angle, because when I angle it for you guys to see, then I can't reach the machine, and I'm already sitting like on the edge of my chair, and I feel like I'm going to fall off, and I can't reach the pressure foot. So this is just so down around the foot. foot. I'm coming up and I'm going to stop so I've got a good space. I'm just going to do a little bit of back stitching. Okay. There. So I'm just going to clip off these loose threads here. See, that's what I think I did. I think when I clipped off those extra purple pieces, I probably clipped one of the threads and didn't notice it. There. So now before I go to turn this out, I have to cut around. So I'm just going to grab the other scissors if I can see them out. Maybe not. I'm just going to keep using these little baby ones. And I just want to cut around the thread where I had stitched, just to give, you know, just around the toes. Just cutting some of that extra material off around the feet, just so you get the defined feet, that they're round. And I'll do that same with, or by the ears. Just kind of clip some of this extra stuff off up here around the head. You don't want to cut the threads. You don't want to cut where you stitch, but you just want to cut the excess sock off. Like that. So now when I turn this right side, I should have a good cat looking thing. If I left myself enough room to turn this right side. Ah, there goes another nail. Okay. Might be easier now that that's the thumbnail that was bothering anyways. Just gonna give it a good shake, and I've got a large paintbrush here so I could just help get this through. Make sure I've got where all the seams are, right where especially where the cat's ears are, 'cause those you want to make sure you are visible. But this will just show the difference of when you do this using hand stitched versus machine stitched. What did I do here? I can't seem to get this. Okay. Yeah, the foot was just flipped inside out on top of each other. But you see the body of the cat looks a lot neater. Of course, the one foot, it's got a one fatter foot, one skinnier foot. That's okay. I can fix that when I stuff it. I think maybe if I just pull some more of this out there, that's probably just need to get some of that more pulled out. And like I said, when I go to stitch this, I can kind of fix his foot a bit. So now I'm just going to grab the stuffing. This little polyfill stuff. I'm just going to start to add this. This may not be enough. I'll probably have to pause and run and grab my other bag of my bigger bag of polyfill, because I don't think I have enough left to stuff the cat. I'm just going to tuck this in as far as I can. I said I'm going to use this paintbrush just so I can get the stuffing right into the ears. The other thing is, you just kind of give it a couple shakes and push it up and get the stuffing to go up. Actually, this might just be enough. I will see. Yeah, I think I've got just enough filling to do this. As my other polyfill is just a little bit different, and I don't really like mixing two. I mean, if you have to, you can, but if you're trying to make a project, you want it to be seamless, you know, try to use the exact same polyfill stuff. But I've had projects where I've had to use 2 or 3 different types of polyfill. You know, you're making your own little cushions and you just want to use up the remnants of what you have. And that's sometimes what you end up doing, is just making smaller little crafts things and little cushions and stuff. And so I've had some where, you know, fill it up with a couple different types of the polyfill or cushion filler or toy stuffing or whatever you have. But look at that cat. Doesn't he look so cute already? I'm not quite sure where my camera is. I'm just going to turn it up just a little bit so you can see how cute he's looking. And then same thing, you know, you want the neck to be a little bit, you want the neck to come in and then you want it to come out where the body is. One leg just looks kind of funny now because now it's the leg that was smaller. It's a little bit overstuffed now, so I got to move some of the stuffing to the other leg. Just got to make that leg just a little bit bigger. So now I will have to get my thread, needle and thread, and actually stitch that up. But I'm out of the polyfill, so just got to move some of this up a bit. All I have left to do is to stitch the bottom. But there is the cat. I'm just going to grab this. I'm just going to get the ears a little more pointed there. And of course I did that and I made his head go crooked. Okay, I'm just going to grab the owl, which should be right behind me. So there's the owl. So I did get the bow on and I glued it, and then I glued a little heart on her, the bow, and then I glued a little heart on her neck. And then there's the cat. So that is just how quick and easy it is to make a little pillow or a little toy thing out of just a pair of socks. And I can see if I go to the back, I mean, not a lot of difference on the detailing, whether you hand stitch or machine stitch. Although I do like to use, I prefer the machine. Unless I'm doing the small ones, then just a little easier if it's just the small ones, a quick little stitch around. But they're just quick little easy little pillow buddies out of a pair of knee-high socks. So again, I just want to say thank you to everybody who watches my videos and who's subscribed to my channels. So this one is Made with Love. My other new channel is Beauty on a Budget. So check that one out, because that one I actually have the recent tutorial when I did my hair and my acrylics. And later today it will have removing acrylics. So just say thank you again. Like, I honestly can't believe that this channel's already at 1.6K subscribers. Thank you for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you all in my next videos. Bye.